Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping in. I sure appreciate it. Let's just get the elephant out of the room here. I chopped all my hair off. I did. It was nice and long before. If you don't remember, I'll just pop up my quick before and after here. But, you know, it was time for a change. And I felt like what better time to cut your hair than in the thick of the summer. So I did. And honestly, I love it. I love this so much more than my long hair. I know I've had short hair majority of my life. I went on this journey of growing it out. I grew it out. I was constantly battling it, constantly struggling with it. I'm just like, why do I do this to myself? So I got this wild hair up my you-know-what. I said, just go cut it. Just freaking cut it. It'll grow back if it doesn't look right. Just go cut it. And I did, and I couldn't be happier. And so this is what I have now. This is what I'm loving. It's just long enough to go back in a ponytail, so I still have that outlet if I need it. But otherwise, this is just my vibe. This is my vibe. It's a little bit flatter today than it was the last couple of days just because this is day 3 of this look. And I just want to see how long I could get away with this style. And it looks like about 3 days, maybe 2.5. But anyways, for today's sake, we are going to do a couple things within this video. I did a Q&A on my community tab and a bunch of you asked me a few questions. So I'm finally going to get around to answering those. I figured, you know, the channel's growing. You're getting to know me more and more. So I wanted to provide an opportunity for you to ask some dirty questions, intriguing questions. And you all were so kind and polite. You kept everything so light and fun. I appreciate that. But with the growth, I wanted a chance for you guys to get to know me a little bit more. But also I decided to, in the thick of this month, to go on a no-buy, except for Sydney Grace at the end of the month. I don't know. We're still working out the details on that one internally. But I'm definitely on this no-buy journey at the moment, and it seems like a lot of people are doing no-buy July. And I found that really interesting because I know I'm feeling the pressure from the monetary expense of makeup and just life in general. I mean, it's me and my 2 young kids, and I cannot leave the grocery store with less than $125 a week, which is insane because I used to be able to get a whole week's worth of groceries for like 50, 60 bucks. And it's just, and I'm getting pure basics. Like one week we lived on nothing but pastas. Pasta's cheap, and it still left the grocery store at like $115. I'm like, what the freak is going on here? So I know that between groceries and gas and just life expenditures and medical bills and stuff, makeup had to take a back seat. It absolutely had to take a back seat. And it almost kind of feels like that's the current vibe in the space right now. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But I just need to take a minute and step back and go, whoo, girl, you have a lot in your collection. You don't need crap. Now, I am also like on this line of you only live once, so buy it and be happy, but also don't put yourself in a hole. And that line is so thin, I can barely see it. But with that being said, I just thought, you know what? Let me go through my entire makeup collection, pull out the oldest product in each category that you have, and see if your face can still tolerate it. So that's what we're doing today, answering your Q&A questions and putting on the oldest makeup of my collection. So let's go. Longest intro ever. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to put this on. Ooh, we're going to have some poofiness back here. Okay, so oldest makeup. Let's get started and then I'll answer some questions here. So first off here, I'm just going to go in the order that I typically do my makeup. My eye primer. It's still my favorite. I only have 2 primers right now. I have this one and the Milani. I really love this Ulta matte primer. I did see a question. I believe it was from Catherine. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but she did ask about me needing to set this primer down. Oh, by the way, all I've done is my skincare, and my SPF is the e.l.f. Wow Glow, so it somewhat is a primer. So I just want to let you know. And also, my kids are screaming in the background because they're playing on VR. Oh, I love them so much. But I'm not going to silence them, so you'll just hear some screaming now and then. But anyways, back to the primer. I feel like this is a matte primer, and for someone who has extremely dry skin, I know that's odd that I like to use a matte primer. But I think what I like about this one so much is it's got definitely a tint to it. So it cancels a lot of the veins and the purples and the reds in my skin on my eyelids. And it almost looks like a concealer in a sense. And for me, it dries down to an almost powdery finish. So I don't feel the need to do any kind of like setting or anything with this one. It is almost gone. Like I'm down to here. So I already have a backup because I love this one so much. And I always pick them up on Ulta sales. So, brows, my oldest brow gel is the NYX Control Freak. I also have a backup of this one. It's a favorite. However, I will say that the Ulta brand gel, I talked about it in my previous video, I think, but the Ulta brand clear brow gel, I'm freaking loving that one. I can't believe I'm going to do my eyebrows on camera here with you guys. This is like definitely my least favorite part of makeup is brows. It's so personal and so just like, I don't know. I feel like if someone's going to attack makeup or attack like your face, that's usually like the first thing they attack is your eyebrows. Am I wrong on that? I kind of feel like that's usually what people go for, which is just so funny. I just don't get it. Maybe that's why, like, I don't get it. Like, why are brows such a thing? I get it, though, I guess. Because I'm very, particular about it. I'm getting to the questions, I promise. My oldest brow pencil is the ABH Brow Wiz. I've been using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, more. So this one's kind of been untouched. And I like the shade and the longevity and the performance of the NYX one better. This one has decent longevity and the shade is okay, but what I like about it more than the NYX, or like the NYX more about this one, is the actual product applies much easier with the NYX. This one I feel like I have to build and build and build. So depending on your preference, I like that initial, like, because I don't like to spend time on my brows. I want it done, get it done. I don't want to spend forever building it, and this is one of those forever build ones for me, so. Okay, so while I'm waiting on my brow gel to set so that way I can do the pencil here, these questions are not in order. I apologize. I'm not sure what happened, but like they disappeared for a while and I had to reach out to YouTube to fix it and I got them back and I don't think they're in order, so I apologize, but I will get to the 4 questions that were asked. So Jasmine asked, my question would be, when did you start YouTube and how do you balance home life? Are you tempted to buy all the new releases to stay on top with the rest? Any tips for someone starting? So first part of that, when did you start YouTube and how do you balance home life? I actually started YouTube 1 year ago this month. So I'm coming up on my year anniversary. I'm not exactly sure of the date. I need to go look. I should have done that before I started this. But so I'm just now creeping up on a year. And how do you balance home life? So there's a couple questions this kind of ties into, so I will get to that part in just a little bit because another question will tie all of that together. So I'll talk about that in a second. And then, are you tempted to buy all the new releases to stay on top with the rest? Initially, when I started my YouTube, I didn't do it to be getting a lot of views. I didn't do it to get a lot of subscribers. I quite literally started my YouTube simply to connect. So I work from home and I'm a single parent. So I'm literally the only adult in my house from the minute I wake up till the minute I go to bed. So, and I used to have family around me, but it's been probably a year since I've had family around. And, I really don't have a whole lot of adults to talk to connect with, communicate with. Because the other part of that too is that nobody in my family likes makeup like we do. Nobody. Whoa, there it is. Hang on. Perfect example of balance right there. But yeah, so no one in my family really likes makeup like we do. I think one of my sisters wears, I think, occasionally like foundation and some concealer and maybe a little bit of eyeshadow, mascara. And my other sister, I have 2 younger sisters. I'm the oldest of 3. And then my youngest sister, like, we have a heart attack when she puts on mascara. Like, that's her, that's her way of wearing makeup, is a little bit of mascara in it. It's so funny because they're both naturally beautiful, so they don't need it. I mean, nobody needs makeup. Everybody's naturally beautiful, but they're not intrigued by makeup at all. And it's so crazy because I love it. I love makeup so much. And then my mom wears makeup, but just very minimal. She's a very like no makeup style. And so it's just nobody, I don't really have anyone to connect with on that. And so I just really wanted a community where people understood how much I appreciate it, and someone that can like communicate with me and talk to me about the different releases and be excited with me and talk about, do you like this? Do you not? Does it work for you? Does it not work for you? And also I'm lonely. I am lonely. Like I said, I work from home. I have 2 kids and no family near me. So and on top of it, I'm an introvert, diehard introvert. I'm much more comfortable sitting on my couch than I am going out. It takes a lot for me to go out to events, especially with people, with a group of people more than like 5 people. I'm much easier one-on-one. I don't do crowds. I don't, and it's so funny because my 2 kids are the polar opposite of me. They are the most extroverted human beings I've ever met in my life. And that has been such a parenting challenge, you guys. It stresses me out so hard. People say, what's the hardest part of being a single parent? Being an introvert and my kids being an extrovert. Hands down, that is the hardest part for me because I don't want to go out. I don't want to do all these things. And my kids are like, we need out of here. We need to see people and talk to people. So they force me out of my comfort zone pretty frequently, like they're very athletic. They're doing a lot of sports, which they better be athletic because I was an athlete growing up, which as an introvert is kind of funny. But I played volleyball from the time I was 9 until well past college. And I even got a college scholarship on volleyball. And so and then I coached for an unreasonable amount of years. But my kid, and then also their dad is post-college athlete as well. I don't think he does anything anymore, but that's actually how we met, was college sports. So, but with them being athletic and very outgoing kids, they're always forcing me out of my comfort zone and getting me out of the house, and life has been hard. So trying to find like a home balance with these kids has been, especially by myself, because I used to have a buffer of my sisters or the buffer of my parents. Like if I'm getting overwhelmed, like I can't do this. Like they were there, and they're there spiritually, I guess. They're there via a phone call, but when I'm dang near breakdown point, I don't have anyone to swoop in and pick me up because all of my really close friends still live in the Midwest. I guess I'm just going to spill my whole life story to you guys. I don't know if you care or not, but eyebrows are done. They're good enough for now. So we're going to move into eyeshadow. My oldest eyeshadow palette is Born to Run, Urban Decay Born to Run. And I'm in a very summery, blue and orange. So I kind of want to do a blue and orange look. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. But I'm definitely thinking I want to use these and maybe these. I don't know. We're just gonna wing it, okay? We're gonna wing it. So let's go into, you know what? Actually, I really like Still Shot. It doesn't really match what I've got going on here. Let me show you. Let me just show you. This is what we've got going on here. I don't know where I got this from, so I'm sorry I can't answer that for you. But we've got greens and blues and oranges. Okay, let's go in with Baja in the crease, this orange shade. So I lost my train of thought in, true Michaela fashion. Let me go back to the question. Oh, tempted to buy all the new releases. Okay. Oh my gosh. See, I got way off track there. I am so sorry. Am I tempted? So when I first started my YouTube channel, it was just to find that connection so that I wasn't so lonely and that I could talk to people that liked makeup like I did. Right? Okay. At first, I wasn't tempted to buy the new releases to keep up because that was not the point of my channel. But then I started to grow and get more comments and likes. And then I don't remember exactly what it was I reviewed, but I reviewed something and the I Need a Nude palette when that first came out by Natasha Denona. I did a palette bingo with the I Need a Nude and the Glam palette, I think. And that picked up so much speed because I was one of the first non-major YouTubers to grab it because my Ulta had put it out early. And it's all in that video too. But so that picked up so much speed and I got over 6,000 views almost immediately. And it was oh, okay. The new stuff gets me the views. And then I kind of got caught up in that for a minute on the new stuff gets you the views. And quite frankly, that's just how it is. That is absolutely how it is. I can't tell you how many times I see comments on other YouTubers' videos about like, I love Shop My Stashes. I love seeing creators go back and use older products. I'm on a no-buy, so this is really helpful. But the thing is those types of videos don't have the views. When a YouTuber does go back and, you know, like this, use all your old products, that doesn't get the views. That doesn't get the love. That doesn't get the attention. It's the new stuff that gets the views and attention. And that's fine. I understand it because you want to know the deets on the new stuff. I get it. As an impulse buyer myself and as someone who's constantly wanting change, like my background changes all the time because I'm always wanting something different. I want something new. For someone who doesn't like change, I like change. I know that makes no sense at all. Major life changes are not a jam for me, but like minor decoration changes are like a daily thing for me. Right now I'm just trying to buff out this orange. It went on a little pigmented. I'm going to pick up Weekender right here. It's like a skin tone shade just to kind of buff that out a little bit. When I started seeing the views on the new stuff versus the old stuff, like when the e.l.f. Satin Foundation first launched a couple weeks ago, that's one of my higher viewed videos. And so, yeah, it's really tempting when I want the views and the attention to rate the new stuff. So yeah, I do want to get all the new stuff for the views, but it took me a minute to go backwards. Like these questions made me start realizing like, I didn't come here for views. I didn't come here for, you know, I just came here to connect and give people a place to go and talk and have a safe place and just know they're not alone in different parts of their lives and have different eye shapes than most YouTubers, you know, and just see what they do. So it took these questions for me to realize that I don't need to buy all the new things. I'm not here to keep up. So to answer your question, long story short, yes, I was, but I'm not now. But that buffering helped a lot. So we've got the orange. Let's pull in the blue. Either one of these blues I think would be great. This blue is easier for me to use, and it's a darker shade, even though it's a satin. Oh boy. How do I want to incorporate this? You know what? No, I'm not that bold. I'm not that bold yet. We're going to go into Good Is Gone, this brown shade right here, and put that in the outer corner. And then we'll add in the blue. I'm not that brave. Any tips for someone just starting? My number one tip for someone just starting is absolutely like find a schedule and a goal and a plan and a genre that you love. So like make it something you're going to continue enjoying doing and that it doesn't make it a chore. Because I feel like a lot of people that start and have realistic expectations, because when you start, you're not going to have 1,000 views a video. You're just not. Like my first couple of videos I had like 13 views. And I was like, ooh, is this not for me? But now I have several videos that have, you know, thousands of views. So, but again, I came in with a different purpose. So I guess for someone starting out is just be realistic with yourself. Have a goal, you know, kind of decide where you want your channel to go. You can always change it. But for just starting out, just keep realistic goals for yourself. You're not going to get thousands of views right away. You're not going to get paid for a while. Just immerse yourself into something that you love and keep that love alive as long as you can. Paula says, your complexion is so beautiful. Michaela, what skincare products do you use? First off, thank you. Thank you so much. It has been quite the journey. So I've talked a lot about this, but I had a dermatologist that I've been working with for years. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, her business just shut down. Like I went to do a follow-up appointment after I had a mole removed and I needed to get the stitches out and they were just gone. Like there was nobody answering at the office. There was nobody answering calls, nothing. And so I had to start all over with a new dermatologist, and it actually ended up being a blessing in disguise because my previous dermatologist was constantly changing my skincare. She was recommending this, recommending that, don't do this, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. And my skincare routine was becoming so complicated with so many products that I was on the verge of giving up. So when I went to this other dermatologist, he was amazing. I'm just grabbing a little bit of that crease shade just to kind of blend this out. I forget how pigmented these shadows can be. So I'm just trying to like buffer some of this in and out here. But He was amazing. He backed off my skincare. Now it's very simplified and my face is finally getting back to the way it was like 3 years ago. I used to, not to brag or anything, but it's facts. I had porcelain skin through high school. I had the occasional blemish, but I never had acne problems. I was never acne prone. I didn't know what I turned 30 and all of a sudden everything I did was wrong. My face just suddenly was like, we forgot to go through puberty. Let's do it now. So, I mean, just everything was going wrong. I couldn't get a grip. I couldn't get control. It's finally calming down. I don't know if it's just time or age or the fact I finally have a skincare routine working for me, but I'm actually going to do an updated video on my skincare routine here in just a couple of days because I actually finished the products that my derm recommended and that I've been working with. So I will be doing an update on that, but it's so simplified now. I get up in the morning and I do a very gentle face wash because I have dry to very dry skin. I do a very gentle soft wash, and then I just do vitamin C. No, excuse me. I apologize. Wash, toner, hydrating toner, vitamin C, moisturizer, and sunscreen. I know that sounds like crazy 6 steps, but it's much more simplified than it was before, and this is working for me. My nighttime routine is the best it could possibly be. At night, I want nothing to do with my skin. I just want to go to bed. So I do my double cleanse. I take the makeup off, cleanse my face, and I do all that in the shower. So when I get out of the shower, I have 2 steps. Niacinamide, moisturizer. Done. Piece of cake. So my recommendation is definitely get with your dermatologist, see what works for you. But for me, it was simplifying the routine, taking out a bunch of stuff, focusing hardcore on my concerns, and then get to where I wanted and just maintain. And that's where I'm at, is maintaining. And I'm just ecstatic with the way my skin looks right now. Next step, because I've gotten the acne under control, the dryness under control, next step is going to be these jerks right here, these big old sunspots that I've got. Those are next. Those are next. Okay, guys, so I've got that all blended out. Let's add in the blue. I'm going to use a Big Sky, which is this guy right here. I'm just going to use my finger, and we're just going to put him all over the lid. We're going to keep this super simple today. And just kind of, I should have used a glitter primer, but we don't have anything on our base, so I can clean it up fairly easily. What do we think? What do we think? What do we think? Decent match with my shirt? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. I'm just grabbing a little more of that blue on a flat brush. I'm just going to kind of buffer it into the crease and over that outer corner matte color. But yeah, so I will definitely get more in depth in that really soon, I promise. And then Catherine says, my question for you is, working from home and YouTube also at home, does it feel like you're always indoors at home rather than a work environment outside the home? How do you feel? Yes. Yeah, I kind of touched on that. As an introvert, it's like a dream to have work from home job, and I do love it. I have no hate against it. However, it does get lonely. Even as an introvert, I do get lonely. I don't get to, you know, like you said, being in an office and outside the home, you interact with people, you communicate with people, and I could definitely see work from home being not beneficial for an extrovert. But yeah, I mean, I do get lonely. I do get lonely, and I do miss some adult interaction, especially when all I hear about is Pokemon and VR and Red Dead Redemption and all these like boy things that I'm just like glazing over when they talk. You know, but I have you guys, you know, talking to me on my community tab and on my comments, and so it really, really helps, like knowing I've got a little bit of a tribe here, so I have things to talk about with other people. But yeah, it does get lonely. I'm not gonna lie to you. Again, that's why I started this channel. I'm grabbing a little bullet brush here. It's not really a bullet brush, but I'm actually going to, believe it or not, I'm going to pull this darker blue radio. I'm going to pull that along the lower lash line. Ooh, I lied. I am going to use that color, but I'm going to buff it in like a liner, and then we're going to blend it out. I hate to sound so like negative Nancy about it, but yeah, it's definitely lonely. But at the same time, like, I have to remember how blessed I am that I get to stay home and do this, especially with who I am and the fact I'm a single parent and I don't have family around to help. Working from home has been like such a blessing. I get to be home with my kids during the summer, even though they can't leave me alone when I'm working. But yeah, it's been really amazing, and I'm very, very grateful and very blessed, and I'm very aware of how blessed I am in that aspect, which is why I have a hard time admitting that I'm lonely or that I need help or that I need, you know, because like I have so many blessings, and I hate feeling any other way than grateful, because I feel if I'm not grateful, then I don't deserve what I have. And I know that's not the case logically, but emotionally, it's how I feel, and I can't help that. I'm going back to that Baja shade, which is the orange we used in the crease. This look is coming out better than I expected, to be honest. And I know that I shouldn't feel that way logically, but emotionally I do, period. That's just how it is. That's the crappy thing about emotions, is they're not logical. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm lonely. I'll just be real with you. I'm lonely. This looks a little psycho, but, just let me get mascara on, which is the next step. So mascara is going to be, let's see. Actually, before we do mascara, let's put on primer. I have two primers here. I never go without my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So I'm just going to slap that on in here. And this is how I typically do my makeup and the order that I do it. That way, while I'm doing my mascara and whatnot, I can let my primer kind of settle in. And then the other primer that I have, that is the oldest in my collection, is the Maybelline Master Studio, the Blue Tube, which is Hydrate and Smooth. I'm starting to have some dryness pretty significantly along my chin here. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this on my chin. And let's see if I break out, because unfortunately that's why I still have it, is I feel like this was causing breakouts, but I don't know for sure. But we're gonna find out now. So I'm gonna curl my lashes real quick off camera, and then we'll put on mascara and keep talking. Okay, and the last question I have from you guys was from Sonia. It says, my question is, how hard or easy is it for you as a mom to be able to do YouTube? And what are your expectations with your channel? I love your videos, #1 fan here. Thank you, Sonia, so sweet. So first part of that is, how hard or easy is it for you as a mom to be able to do YouTube? You know, it definitely has its complications. And as you saw, they're coming in while I'm filming. But, oh, I forgot to tell you what I'm using. Hello. My oldest mascara is the Wet n Wild Big Papa mascara. I don't like to have more than 3 mascaras open at any given moment. So I have this one. Actually, I have 4 open, and I don't love that. But I have this one. I have Believe Beauty. I have the ColourPop and an Essence one. But honestly, like, I hate the wand on this. It is so plasticky and gross and ugly, but it does great for my lashes. So how hard or easy? For the most part, it's pretty easy. For me, it's just trying to, and this is where I was talking about from that original question, was how hard or easy is it to balance home life? So that's where this part comes in. Trying to film when my kids are busy is big for me. I don't like to do it when we're involved or when we're doing something together, or if, you know, I suddenly get this idea and I want to go film it. I just write it down and I try and film. Well, we're on summer break right now, and so they're home obviously all day long, and so their sleep schedule's changed a little bit, so they're sleeping in later during the day. So I've been filming a lot on like Saturday and Sunday mornings, 2 or 3 videos at a time, and then just editing throughout the week and getting them up. So that's kind of how I'm balancing that perspective. Editing for me is the hardest part. Filming is easy because I'm putting on my makeup. I was going to do it anyways kind of thing. It's the editing. Editing is, depending on how long the video is, can be quick and easy. Like, this should flow pretty easily. I won't have a whole lot of edits, but the thing is, you still have to rewatch it and make sure you don't have any mess ups or weird funky things going on. So however long your video is, times that by like 2 to 3, because the first time you're watching it, you're editing and making changes and adding and taking away, and then you have to rewatch that to make sure that it flows smooth and you have everything you need, and you might do occasional edits as you're going. So at least double the length of your original video is how long it takes to edit. Excuse me. Of course, depending on, you know, how much editing you have to do, how much adding you have to do. So for me, it's the editing part that is the hardest thing to balance. So I do try and film and edit almost immediately after if the boys are still asleep. If they're awake, then it gets a little bit trickier. I try and do it when they're like playing video games or something like that. But then that's hard too, because they're playfully yelling and screaming and being ecstatic and hyper, and I can't hear my editing. I can't hear my video to edit it. So I'm like, guys, quiet down. So that balance does get really hard. Also, like during the week, if I'm filming something like a new product that I want to get up quickly, that I film on my lunch breaks, and I get a 30-minute lunch break. And I know people are going to question like, well, why do you only give yourself 30 minutes? You work from home. So I do work from home, but it's still very, very much like an office style setting. I have a very specific clock in and clock out time. I have a lunch break. I don't make my own hours. I still work for a company that I worked in person for out in the Midwest. So it's still very much an office style setting. The difference is I can sit in my PJs at my desk. So yeah, I work from home, but it's still very much office style treatment. Like I don't make my own hours and do all that stuff. So that's why I don't like telling people I work from home, because they immediately go, oh, like you do this and you can do that. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. No, it's not like that. It's quite literally, I'm in an office, but the office is located in my bedroom or my home. In my case, it is actually my bedroom because I do have a smaller home. So in the master bedroom, I have all your typical, you know, bed, dresser, but then I also have my full office set up. And then I have this little corner where I get to play with makeup. So I'm very, very boxed in, but I'm also extremely grateful that I have a very low mortgage. I have a roof over my head. It's affordable and I'm here. So that's something else I'm trying to remember is even though I really want more space and I really want a big change in that perspective, I'm grateful for what I have. Let's move on to base products now. Foundation. My oldest foundation in my current collection is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. This one's in the shade Fair. I think it's going to be too light, but it is what it is, my friends. So we're going to go in and hope for the best. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. buffing foundation brush for this. And we're just, it may not be too bad. I know that the way I put on my foundation irritates a lot of you, sorry. But, so yeah, that, the work-life balance, how that kind of works now that I've answered most of these questions, and I can come back to that one. It helps working from home because I don't have travel time. It works that my kids are, you know, old enough and in school and they can kind of fend for themselves for the most part. So that helps a lot too. I know that, I've been a single mom since I was pregnant with my youngest. My ex-husband and I got a divorce literally right after I was giving birth to my youngest. And, I don't like to put ages of my kids out here. I try to protect them as much as I can. But I've been divorced since 2017. So it's just been me and the two kids since 2017. And I will say that when they were younger, like I'm going to get real with you here. When they were younger and it was a lot of like they needed me for everything, I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable because even though I had family around, they have their own lives. Like, I don't want this to sound like I'm hating on them. I'm not hating on my family at all. But they were all working. My parents were not retired. They were working. My sisters were working. All my relatives were working. And so I didn't have anyone to just come over and help me when I got overwhelmed. I can't tell you how many nights I spent in the bottom of my shower bawling my eyes out. like probably 5 to 7 nights a week. It was really, really hard. I got to a point where like I resented everyone. I hated everyone and everything. I wanted no friends. I wanted nobody in my life because I was drowning and I was trying to tell people I was drowning and nobody was getting it. And looking back, a lot of that was my fault because I wasn't directly asking, but I also felt the way that I was asking would have given a red flag to people who knew me. So if you're in that same kind of boat, don't assume. Just ask. Just be blunt and ask. It's something I definitely regret because I reached a point of complete resentment. I hated everybody. I really did. But I hated everybody and I wanted everybody to leave me alone. So I really isolated myself, which is funny because I was already isolated because I wasn't getting the help I needed. But when the kids were younger, I was miserable. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was absolutely miserable. My oldest concealer right now is the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. I don't love this one, but we're gonna use it because it's my oldest. It's a fine shade match. It's just really not my favorite product, especially under my eyes. But I'm going to get my concealer lips off here. Let me just... That shade, foundation shade's a tad light, but totally workable. Let's see what I can use here. I'm going to use the backside of my e.l.f. Complexion Duo. And I'm actually going to just kind of touch up in here a little bit. That's a little too much. That's okay. I just feel like for this being labeled a concealer serum, it's awfully thick. I don't know. Everybody loves this product and I feel like it's too heavy for my under eyes. I thought I had a trick down, but then it started failing me, so I just don't know. I just don't know. But anyway, so yeah, if anyone is ever like that, just ask. You're going to have to just ask because I regret it because like I said, I struggled so hard. Now that my kids are older, they're 6+, because again, I'm just trying to protect their age, but they're 6+. So at this point, if they're hungry, they can just go throw Dino Nuggies in the microwave. They're totally capable of that. Both of them can make their own sandwiches. So they're more independent. And part of that is the fact that I didn't have a lot of help. So I taught them independence. So that may or may not be a good thing. I don't know. But they are very independent kids. They really are. They're really amazing kids, though. I can't tell you, like, how many times my kids get awards at school for, you know, good behavior. Like, my oldest, towards the end of this last school year, he came home with a letter from the principal saying that he received honors because one of the kitchen aides in the cafeteria dropped a bag of grapes and he just jumped up and used his lunch break to help her clean them up. And I was like, yeah, that's my kid. They just have really big hearts, and I know every parent thinks their kids are saints. Mine are not saints. I will tell you that. They are not saints. I love them, but they're not saints. But I don't know. You know, being a parent is hard. It's one of the hardest things ever. And I don't remember how we got to this. I don't remember how we got off on this tangent. Oldest bronzer is my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. You guys, it's almost gone. Look at that. I feel like it keeps getting lower and lower every time I see you. And I don't really love this product. So I'm trying to like burn through it. It is by far my oldest though. And it is so warm in here. You can kind of see it a little bit melty. It's warm in here. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of this. But yeah, so going back to the balance, it was harder when they were younger. It's a lot easier now that they're independent. That's where I was going with this. I told you guys, I go on tangents. So it's definitely easier now that they're older. And they put themselves to bed. I mean, I still will talk to them and, you know, tell them good night, give them a hug, but they're both night owls, so they go to bed before I do, which I know sounds crazy. Like, why wouldn't you put your kids to bed? Because they don't sleep. They don't sleep, and they're miserable, and they hate just laying in bed. And so I just let them go to bed on their own. I do monitor what time they go to bed. I take their electronic devices away, so all they have is just basically TV. But most of the time, like, my youngest, he reads. Like, what young kid reads by choice? Which I'm grateful for because I'm a reader too. I enjoy reading. So like it brings me joy that he reads. My oldest will build things. He's very into like tech stuff and building. And so he will Legos and electronics. He'll pull apart electronics and put them back together. He's very intrigued by that kind of stuff. So that makes me pretty happy. So they'll do that instead of playing on electronics or whatnot. But like I said, the balance is a lot easier now that they're older and they're both in the same school. And so that helps a lot too. So if you had asked me about the work-life balance 3 years ago, I would have started crying. But now it's just way easier. So kind of what my typical day looks like is I start work at 6 a.m. So I'll wake up about 5:30, 5:45, get coffee, do some skincare. I'll work. I take a break for lunch. Sometimes I just do makeup. Sometimes I film. I'm off at between 2:30 and 4, depending on what our day looks like. I'm technically done by 2:30, but I usually work until 3:30 or 4, and then I'll clock out. I'll get the boys' afternoon snacks or whatever, and then we just kind of hang out and do things, and depending on what night of the week it is, I'll either make supper right away and we run to practice, or we will just kind of hang out, maybe do a chore or two, and then just chill for the night. Some of my kids' favorite things to do is board games. So we really like Jumanji, and we have the SpongeBob What Do You Meme, so we play a lot of like board games. That's kind of their thing. My oldest blush is actually this Ulta duo, and as you can see, I've hit pan, and I had to repress this more mauve-y shade because I couldn't, it was like in the corners and I couldn't get it, so I repressed it. Neither one of these really goes with the look today, but it is my oldest blush, so I'm actually gonna get kind of like a different, I wouldn't normally use this brush for blush, but because, I mean, it is a blush brush, I guess, but we're gonna go into the more pink side. These are very pigmented, so yikes. Let's just, I typically use this duo in the fall. It's a really pretty fall blush, in my opinion, both these colors. I guess we kind of have a fall eye look going on. Why not, right? Oh, the AC kicked on. Hallelujah. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty. I feel like this side needs just a little bit more. Yeah, that looks nice. And my oldest highlighter, this isn't technically a highlighter, but that's how I use this product. And I just don't wear a whole lot of highlighter anyway. So it's going to be the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I know there's like kind of circling back around with this because of the new Charlotte Tilbury foundation, which I have no interest in whatsoever. But I just kind of use this as a highlight because it's a very glow from within style. But see, it just, without all the glitter and the shimmer, which I really don't like, but this just adds that little touch of glow. Yeah, that's pretty. So yeah, and then we get back from practice, everybody showers, we go to bed. That's typically what like the school year looks like. The summer right now is a hot mess. If you're outside the US, our summer vacation is for 2 whole months. It's all of June and July. And they go to bed whenever, they wake up whenever, everybody just kind of needs that once in a while. But my kids are already like, Mom, when does school start? When does school start? I'm like, I know you're bored. I know you're bored. And we're sitting in 110 to 117 degree temperature. So going outside is really not an option. Yeah, summer's tough for all of us out here. So believe it or not, this is my oldest lip gloss. It is the Lorac Pirates of the Caribbean collection. Okay, another tidbit about me. I was a die-hard Pirates of the Caribbean fan. Die-hard. Like, in my teenage years, I had it plastered over my wall. Like, Johnny Depp everything. Johnny Depp is my life. So, this is the Pirates of the Caribbean. I still use this once in a while because it's such a beautiful shade. I do really love it. But it's dual-sided, so this side is a gloss and this side is a lipstick. I've never used the lipstick because it almost gives me like concealer lips. It's too light. But this is like a bronzy nude. Oh my gosh, I love this color so much. And it's one of those that like, it's a favorite, so I never use it. But then I have to remember that it goes bad. I honestly have no idea exactly how old this is, but it's easily the oldest in my collection. Bronzy nude. Isn't it beautiful? I just can't. I just can't. But yeah, let me fix my hair and I'll zoom you out and we can finish up. So let me finish up Sonia's question real quick. I just realized I didn't finish it. I'm so sorry. And so the second part of that is, what are your expectations with your YouTube channel? I kind of touched on that already a little bit, but just to like really clarify and hone in on it, like I don't really have any expectations. I'm here to connect. I'm here to exist. I'm here to maybe inspire. If I even inspire one person, that's amazing. If I don't, that's okay too, because I'm literally just here to connect and share my love with this. You know, some people get it, some people don't. That's okay. I love the community that we've built. I will say that I don't know that I ever want to grow too big. The idea of having thousands of followers kind of freaks me out. I've always just wanted a little section of this world to be mine, and that's kind of what we have here. So I'm just really grateful for all of you guys and giving me that opportunity to have someone to connect with, someone to talk to, and just have this bond that I just don't have with other people in my life that I've been craving so badly. And so yeah, I really, really appreciate those of you that are, you know, are here from the beginning, are still hanging in there, and you newbies coming in. Thank you so much for your support and your love. I really appreciate it. And I'm just really happy you all are here, and I'm happy that I'm here, and I'm very grateful. And I wouldn't expect much from me other than stuff like this. So like I said, the new stuff is definitely intriguing, and I'm not going to say no to the new stuff, but you know, I'm planning on doing like a full makeup collection because I don't have a whole lot of actual makeup. The only things that are overwhelming is lips and eyeshadow, but I feel pretty curated otherwise. So I kind of want to do a video of what's in my collection and kind of talk about where I want to go with my collection moving forward. So I think that might be more helpful for you to have an idea of where my channel is going. It's more or less using what I have and, you know, falling back in love with some of these products, which is kind of where I started initially anyways, because I don't want to go after all the new products. I'm too broke for that. I can't afford that. And the idea of getting so big that I have PR flooding me also intimidates me. I don't think I want that, because I want to use what is in my collection. I bought it. I spent my money on it. I want to love it. I want to indulge. So I just think that, you know, reaching a point of some of these other really big YouTubers where you're getting PR on the daily, I think that would overwhelm me in a negative way. So I'm just kind of here to hang out with y'all, talk with y'all, be with y'all, engage. So thank you guys so much. This is a long one. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm terrible at tangents. I'm real sorry. But if you've been here this whole time, please drop a heart for me. I will give you one back because I do love you guys. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Much love, and I'll catch you on my next one. Later much.